Record. Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to the weekly outlook. This you may have seen in your screen a polling here. The polling is asking for the time that best suits you for the webinar, because we have had requests for Friday. Some people want it back on the Friday. As you can see, by popular demand, it is still the Monday, right? So I'll stop it here. 63 to 42. So I don't think, even if everybody else vote, is going to change the vote. 198 out of 210 voted, right? So we can't change that. It's going to, this one is even growing. So we'll end the poll and it will be Monday. So we'll leave it at Monday. I can share the results for you and you guys should have the results there now, right? Everybody sees the results. I think you guys sees it now, right? Great. So I would end the sharing. You guys see the results. Most people, 63% chose Monday. So we'll just leave it at that. Stop sharing results and let's go do the webinar now. Yep. So all of you can see my screen. Everybody sees my screen because I was sharing the result. I hope that didn't change the... Okay, you can see my screen. Great. Okay, let me see if I can add any one of my people in the room to help me out if in case any questions there. Okay, Sherry, I see you. I promote you. Let me see if I can see. Benny shouldn't be around. He's still on holiday. Let me see if I can see Mark. Sherry, you're on. So, oh, your microphone, you need to mute it. Okay, I muted for you. Okay, let me see if I can see any one of the other guys to help out. Sherman in the room. Oh, Sherman is probably asleep now. Okay, let's go. Yep. So let's start. Dollar index. Dollar index, as we've been saying, it's still in the consolidation. I still think they will stay in the consolidation for a while. They made this up move and they're making some consolidation here. So we're literally going to be going sideways for this entire week, and maybe for the whole of next week, we'll see some sideways movement. So you can actually see some movement here. I think we're going to probably do one more up here, right? There's a possibility we will see some more downside. I don't think this is all the correction, or I don't think this is all the correction. So we may still see, more correction in here before they go up. So any trading this week would be pretty difficult. You will have to find a really, really good setup to get a good trade, because most of the time you'll have very short-term trades. All the trades are set up for very short-term. Euro, pretty much the same thing. I think Euro could come down a little more here, but I don't think this will be long-term. So you'll be very careful. If this break, it's a short trade, and then we may start to see the upside again, because this doesn't look like all the correction to me. So if you take this trade to the downside, if it gives you a trade to the downside, which means they break to the downside, it will be very, very short-term. So you'd have to be very careful with that. We're looking for more upside in the euro. Upside at least to the trend line, and the daily you can see why. We think this thing may come to that trend line. One more up move, and then we're going to go down. They could spend some time in the sideways move. Not necessarily that it's going to go up immediately, right? The sideways move could be more complex, 1, 2, 3. Which means they could do something like this, come back up here, come down back, retest the low, then go. Gives you a 1, 2, 3 here. These are patterns you can't forecast in advance. You can't forecast what the correction would be in advance. You can forecast that there is a correction coming, but you can't forecast that there is a correction in advance. So watch this here, and we will look for upside. I think short-term downside, we're looking for more upside. On the pound, we're definitely looking for more upside. Even if they come and break this low now, looking at this 5-wave structure we have here, even if this comes back and break the low, we're still going to get an up move. So the upside structure has not changed a single bit. We are still looking for that up move. Now, there was a short-term trade to the downside Friday during the news event, especially. I think all of you saw that possibility. We didn't trade this to the downside. We traded the pound New Zealand and a few other pound trades. if pound was going to go down, they had better setups for downside. To the upside, if this was going to go up, we'd look for the upside. This structure eventually will go up. I think it is already going up. We don't know yet, right? So if this breaks out, if they make a consolidation here and break out, you probably want to get the trade somewhere in here. You want to get in that trade from that point. Because once they break this top, we would be expecting them to break the very top, right? You can see that this is nothing more than a consolidation coming down here, and we're expecting them to break this top. This is the trade you don't want to miss. After that trade, there's a big trade to the downside, and then you definitely don't want to miss this one, right? Just like this one, you don't want to miss this one down, right? Now, I don't know if it's going to be pretty fast, if it's going to be pretty slow. It could be pretty slow trade to the downside. The last two impulses to the downside were very fast. Let's take these out. The last two to the downside were super fast. You could see that. They both went on news events, right? See that? Very fast move down. This was your Brexit, and this was a very fast move down. Some news event. So this could be a very fast move down, some news event, right? So they could use some news event to move that to the downside. First, you want to get the move to the upside. So I'll be looking, unless I see structural change, and if I see, I'll post the update for you guys. But right now, we're looking for the up trade. Don't miss it. It's a very good trade when it breaks. Aussie, on the other hand, we'll be looking for the downside on the Aussie. Now, it's not going very aggressive right now. We are already in the sell, but it's not very aggressive, right? You can see it's moving very, very slow, very, very slow. Pull back, drop very, very slow. They could do this. They'll drop one more. If they break out of this structure, that's it. I'm keeping the trade. I'm not getting out of the trade because we're going back to this low. We're going back to this low, right? We'll be looking for this structure. Now, what they could do, like they did here, you see they made a 1, 2, 3 here and then went back and then comes. So I'm not anticipating this to happen, but it could happen. So you could probably get a slow climb down here, go back up, come back here, go back, retest the top, just test the top and then come back. They don't need to break this top. That breaking that top negates this structure, means that we're going up. If they break that top, that means we're going up full time, right? Right now, that has not happened. So until they break that top, I'm still expecting this move to come down. Remember, we were still expecting this move to come down when everybody else thought, well, that's it, you're going up. This is going to go up crazy, right? We said, no, the structure behaves a certain way. The whole concept is based on the fact that structures behave a certain way. You have to understand what structure you're looking at, and then you have to understand how that structure will behave. Now, structures tend to change, especially in a lower time frame. If the structure is changing and we see it, we change the view, right? It's very simple. We just change the view if it's changing, right? It's not like we have to stick to the view. If we say up, it has to be up. If there's a structural change, we may not be in an up trade. We will look for the down trade. And as you know, this worked perfect. So we're seeing very similar structure at the top here. And that means if we continue to see that type of structure, we will continue to look for sell setups and we will be in the trade. Now, I would only look to take off this trade when it comes to this low. And if it breaks, I take it off. I keep the trade. And if it doesn't break, I'll just move my stop and let it take me out for a very small profit. We will relook at the structure at that point. But right now, this structure is telling me downside. On all time frame, it's saying downside. So we'll see how far this goes. You want to get into this trade. You may get in the trade very nicely in a break of this pattern here. Right? You can pull this here, and if this goes back up, likely looking like they're going to go back up. If they drop, you can take this trade and do the same thing. Come to the trend line, move it to break even, or move your stop to some profit and see whether they break out or whether they bounce. I think the breakout is likely going to happen, right? So we'll see. The details of these, remember when we were in our trading room, we look at these things. Not every day is when I do the webinar in the London session. Plus, we still do this during the days. The guys are during the day analyzing it, see if there's change in structure. And before they take any trade, they will make sure that they're studying it before they take any trade. We don't just take a trade because we see a certain structure. We wait for it to confirm. And once it's confirmed, we get in the trade. If it's not confirmed, well, so be it. We're not in the trade, right? This one so far is going well for us. It's going slow, but it's going good. New Zealand, as you can see, it made the correction. Now, it's still downside. New Zealand is still downside, but there's a change of structure. So let me show you what the change of structure. This move is a complete move. That is completely one impulse or one move, maybe the whole correction. It's completely one structure. They made a bigger structure here, and this structure is still in process of making. So I think we could still see more of a flag here, and then we could see a fall here. See this move here? You make a consolidation, you get a fall here. We could either, this is a deep correction, so we could either come retest this low and continue to go down, come retest the low and go back to test the top. What I mean by that is if you look at this bigger structure here, you see how many times they make up, down, up, down, up before they go. So there's a possibility that this could be repeating the same thing. An up move, a down move, another up move, another down move, another up move, and then they go down. We don't know this as yet. This move is starting to happen. It didn't go the way we wanted it to go. Remember, we said this is going to break and give an aggressive move down. That didn't happen. Structure changing. Okay, no problem. Right now, we're looking for a sell setup and probably a deep one. We will see how far that goes. 4 hour. They made one move up here. They're making a move down here. They'll probably make another move up. They'll do something like this here. And if you get a corrective structure in here, which is in the making right now, look for the next impulse down. This would be a good trade. Right? Now, you're not going to get that trade until by the end of this week or maybe next week. So can we trade within the corrective structure, the short-term corrective structure? Yes, you can. You can probably look for 1 hour breakouts, look for 1 hour flags. This one goes up, make a 1 hour flag, you get a trade up. Comes down back, make the next 1 hour flag, you get a trade down. All right. So just look for those 1 hour flags. Remember these short-term ones as well here. Those would be short-term trades if you took them. The same thing you do here. You just wait for those 1 hour flags and trade them, take off your trade for profit because it's not going to go anywhere far. You're in a sideways move. So this week, it's all going to be about short-term trades. Get in, get out, take your profit. CAD, very similar structure. CAD is breaking this move to the upside. Let me just put this so you can see 4 hour. CAD also started to make the downside, and then it just stopped. The move to the downside was not aggressive enough. We did not get that aggressive move. So we got out of the trade. We're looking at this structure, and we're thinking this could possibly do more upside, right? Same thing like the New Zealand, right? You had that 1, 2, 3 structure, and then they start to do this. So this could probably go sideways, maybe even go back up before they come down. Make a bigger 3-wave structure. 1, 2, 3. So I'm anticipating some more downside here. Probably consolidate here and then some more downside. Let's look at this on the 4 hour. It's not the impulse. They're not making the impulse to the downside as yet. This is just a bigger B wave within probably an ABC structure that is coming, right? So what is the next trade on this one? The next trade of this one, we'll probably look for a short-term trade to the upside. Like I said, they're all short-term trades. This does not have any flag in it. It's got a big 3-way sideways move. We don't know if it could be 5, right? So a sell setup, no. You don't have a buy setup. You don't have a sell setup. There isn't anything you should do right here. Because as it is right now, it could make a short spike both directions. If they make a short spike up, either they make a flag for you to buy or they drop and they give you a flag to sell. So wait for that short spike before you make. If they make a short spike down, same, you'll have to wait for a flag. Wait for a flag like this. This was a good setup. This was a good setup. That was a good setup. This was a good setup, right? Those are good setup. You don't have a good setup here to trade, so you probably wait. Stay out of the market for now. This one is probably giving you a good trade setup. This one will definitely go down some more. So in the 1 hour, you can see you're probably making some consolidation here. Sorry, not the nice one. You can probably see some consolidation going on here. They could do this for a while, but once they drop, they'll retest the low. So there's a trade coming here, right? Wait for a drop. It's short term. Like I said, all these trades are very short term trades. They will just go somewhat and they'll change direction. They're not making, you have one impulse to the downside. This is what you have. You have an impulse to the downside that broke the up move. So you're going sideways, you're going to probably go back down and then you could go up again. Put it in a 4 hour, you'll see this, right? There is no confirmed structure to any direction. You have a move down, a move up, and a move down, that's all. That is not a pattern. It's part of a pattern that is in making. So when they complete the pattern, we will see the longer side direction, the bigger direction is going. But for now, it's just up and down. making patterns, right? Yen, same thing. You can probably get a short-term trade here, and this will be a short-term trade because they could go right back up, retest the top. If they come to test the low, I don't think they're going to come to test the low because we've already made that move up. We broke out of this structure. So this is a pullback. They probably go up like this, come back here, and then go. So I think we would be looking for some more. I'm looking for some more upside. Come down here and then go. This would be a nice trade, short term. Right, so let's look on the 1 hour. We don't have a buy setup, but they will likely go up some first, right? You don't have a buy setup. I would not be jumping into this. This has to make much more upside, then come down. So this, if you sell this here now, they'll just break the low and go back up, right? So this is not a good sell. Wait for it to do a bigger correction, then you get a better sell setup, right? If you don't understand structure, you're likely going to fall trapped for that one. Oh, we didn't do that. We'll skip that one. That was a sell set. We didn't take that trade. So Aussie dollar, euro, Australian dollar, you can look at it. We're looking with, we thought this was going to come to the top and then come down. It looks like they're planning on going down right now. So you can see the internal structures of it. Take this off, put it in a 1 hour so you can see this. I think they're actually correcting this up move that they made. They made an up move. They broke out of the structure. So we're making a 1, 2, probably a 3 here, and then we're looking for the upside and the break of this structure, right? So put that in a 4 hour, you can see what we're looking for. We're expecting this thing to go back to the top here, something like a 1, 2, 3. So we've got a 1, we're looking for a 2, and then we're looking for a 3 there, right? At this point, they will tell us they're breaking out or they're coming back down, right? This is one more down, one more down, one more down. Let's look at that in the daily for you guys. You notice the daily already has one correction, another one. We could get this correction here. If they break out of this structure, that's a bigger move up. And then you will get one more down here, right? Now, are they finished with this one? That is this piece going here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then go up, right? So let's look at that in the 4 hour. We will know that when this structure completes itself, right? So this piece, we were anticipating it to make a flag here, go back up there, make a move down, go back up there, and then this piece will tell us they're breaking out for this bigger move or they're going to come back down for one more. Either way, the trade you're looking for should be the trade to the upside. There's a very small trade to the downside. Very small trade to the downside. You probably don't want to get involved with it. They could still go up some more here and then come down back. You probably don't want this trade because it's going to be short and then they're going to go back up. We look for the buy setup. 1 second, guys. Let me just take this call. It's an important one. Been waiting for it. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Had to just take the call, waiting for them for like a whole day. Okay, let's go. Yes, so we're looking for the up trade in this, and I think that has more opportunity. This could come down some more, but I don't think it's going to go very far. It's more of a correction, right? Let's go. Euro New Zealand. Euro New Zealand, definitely same thing. We're looking for upside, so you can actually get a nice up trade here. If they break this, you can look for a breakout and then buy the breakout. I think the breakout will happen today because we already had this breakout. So you had a very small pullback here. You got to move up. We didn't miss that one. By the way, I got taken out right here, exactly where it turned. Shouldn't have moved my stop to break even. Some of our traders kept their trade. Some of us got in back that trade. So we're looking for this buy here, right? Don't miss this buy. This buy could be very, very big buy to the upside, right? So this is the trade we're looking for. First, this trade to get to this level, and if they break out, you want to keep that forever, right? If they break out, you want to keep that trade. But if they stop here and we start to get a possibility for one more down, I'll post that update for you guys, because on the daily, one more downside is very possible within this structure, right? Within this structure itself, you got 1, 2, 3, 4. You can get 5, and then you can go back up. Same thing as the Euro Aus, right? That possibility for one more down still exists. But first, they have to go up. So first, we're going to look for the trade to the upside, right? That does not change the weekly structure for that big move to the upside. Even if they make this one more down here, this is a very small trading comparison to what we're looking for. So right now, this thing is squeezing very, very tightly. You really want to get that trade. You don't want to miss it when it starts to go up, right? So when it comes here, when it comes to this level, watch for this trade down and then watch for that upside. So don't miss the trade, right? We're not discussing wave counts in here, Tobias, if I got your name correctly. I'm showing you the direction I think it's going to go, right? I'm definitely sure we count waves different. I can guarantee you that if you're not in my group and you're a Elliott waiver or whatever auto waiver, you count your waves different from us. I can guarantee you that, right? We count differently. My traders will not tell you how I count, so don't worry with that. But we don't count the way Elliott waivers count their trade. That is why we don't get it. We get it correct most of the time rather than get it wrong, right? So watch this trade here. We're looking for this trade to the upside. EURUSD, very similar structure. I think they will make a move to the downside first. This has a CAD in it, so we'll see. I would like them to tag this low first before they go. Not a fact that they will tag the low, but we would like them to tag this low. This is a daily trend line. Come back, tag this, and then take off. Right? We do have divergence here, and we have divergence all over, so we're expecting this to go up somewhat, right? There's an up move coming. That's a daily trend line. They don't have to tag the trend line, but if they do, it will be really good to get the trade from here, right? So watch this trade, looks upside. Great for you, Pete, if you know a lot of Elliott waivers who get it right. I'm not saying and they don't get it right. I'm saying a lot of them get it wrong. And you can go just pick any Elliott waivers, traders, and trading view anywhere and just see what they do, right? It's easy to do. You have history of trades that are posted, right? Look at their wave counts and see how often they change it or what they do to it, right? What changes in it, not structurally, but the count itself, right? So let's look at it. Anyway, that's not a conversation for discussion here. Let's take this off. I'm still expecting this to go up. This structure, we're still expecting to go up a lot. We're expecting this structure. It's almost completed. We think it's completed at this point. Very rarely it may go down here and come back up, but it's still an up structure. Don't miss this trade to the upside. I don't expect it to go up more. I'm already in the trade. We're already in the trade. I'm not expecting it, even if it goes tag the low. Keep a stop that is a little lower, because if they tag the low, they will go back up, right? This, you can see this trade here. You got an impulse, you got a correction, you made another impulse, you're getting a perfect corrective structure to go up. You don't want it better than that. How many times have I drawn that for you? Remember, I used to draw it, an impulse, a correction, and an impulse. This one actually did exactly that, right? So don't miss the trade. It looks very well for a move to the upside. Be ready to take the trade when it goes. You can wait for it to break out of this pattern here and then take it and then watch for the breakout. Let's see how far this goes. I think this is going to start to go up now. So an early entry may be a little risky, but looks good to me, right? So I'm still expecting this to go up, up, up. At this point, you may get a flag, and then you can take the buy. If you get a flag somewhere in here, this would be a good place for a buy. Okay? Let's go. EuroChief. EuroChief will have to, they're breaking out, right? But they will have to tag this low before they go. It doesn't matter that they break out. Even if they break out and they come back to about this high, we would expect one more down than the upside. So stay out of this for a while. It's a little risky one until they start to go up. Until this pattern starts to go up, it could, they could spike it up to the top here, come back here, and then go. This is the move you want, that up move when it starts, not the downside. The downside is limited. So you probably want to stay out of it for a while, right? We're getting some sideways move, but not interesting. Europang, for those of you, watch, don't jump in. If you're in the sell already, some people took the early sell, I know that. If you're in the sell already, right, from this one, you got to watch it at this level. Look at this structure, 1, 2, 3. There's a possible for a 1, 2, 3 here and one more up. So you probably want to be careful because you could start to get an up move from right here, right? So be careful of this. This trade could go up. I would not, if you're speaking about this, David, I'm not sure you want to enter it right now. That depends on your risk appetite and your strategy you're using. But if you're speaking about this and you want to go in right now, that's okay. At least you have a plan and you have a strategy how to trade it and where your stop is going to be and how much you're going to lose if you're wrong, right? Basically, that's all, right? If you got that intact, go ahead. Pangos. For our Pangos, it's kind of looking like it's going to go up right now. You can see the structure. They're breaking out, but we don't have enough reason to buy this yet. We wanted to break out, make a flag somewhere there, and then we'll go. If they make a small flag here, this would be a good buy setup for the upside, right? Daily, I'm showing you the structure. Right, we've got a sharp move here and they're coming very slow down. So at this point, if they start to go back up, we'll look for them to retest this stuff. So that could be a good trade to the upside, short term, but nice trade to the upside. So let's see if we get a flag somewhere in here, it will be a good buy setup. I think they're making a flag right now. This is more of a bigger flag that they made. So, they make a flag here. You could take this straight up. That would be a good one. Right? So, Pound New Zealand. Pound New Zealand, you probably want to stay out of it for a while. Wait for a breakout one out of these two directions before you take a trade. Because right now, looking at this structure, you've got a 1, a 2, and you're getting sideways move. This could break the low here, go down. It could break the come back, test the top. So as long as you're within this structure here, either wait for that trade or wait for this trade. Don't take any of the directions as yet because it's not clear. I'm actually thinking the upside because we have Pong probably is going to go up. So you probably will be more likely to get it to the upside rather than the downside. And that would give you a nice 1, 2, 3 wave structure for downside. Remember, the Pong has one more move to the downside. Don't miss it, right? A big move to the downside. So we could probably get this to the upside, but you'll have to wait a while for it. Pong Chief. Punk Chief also look very much upside. It looks like this triangular pattern is going to break very soon. So if it breaks, watch it to retest that top. Right? That is where you can expect them to go. It's very short term. It's not a very big trade. So you go to the 4 hour, you may get a very, very short term trade out of it. Right? If they break out, make a flag, you will get that trade there. You'll probably get this trade and then you look for downside. So all the trades for this week are very, very short term. You have to really have skills to trade them. Get in, get out, take your profit, right? Same thing, you have a triangular pattern here also in the daily and the 4 hour, you can see it. And on the 1 hour, same thing, Pang Yen. Don't do anything until they break out this way or until they break out that way. One way or the other, they will break out. One will be the impulse, the upside is the correction. Euro yen has a longer term. Most euro trades have a longer term structure, not only euro yen. The euro Aus has a longer term structure. The euro New Zealand has a longer term structure. The euro yen has a longer term structure. That is if euro trade goes now. They're possible they could come back one more. Remember, there's a possibility for a one more down, a move up, and either they break out or one more down before they break out. So they could also get one more down on the euro, and that means the euro yen, euro Aus, euro New Zealand, everything gets one more down before they go. But right now, the move is to the upside. Right? Hope you got that clear. Pound CAD is the only one I think has a long-term structure to the upside. I've been saying that since when? A long time. This has a long-term structure. So first, you don't want to miss this trade to retest this stop here. And then we will see they will make that one more down, or they will just keep going up. Remember, this has a CAD inside, right? So it doesn't have the other trade. So first, you're looking for that trade up. Don't miss it, right? Potentially, this has a very good trade up. You're getting a breakout here. You get a nice flag you can buy. Wait for a flag before you buy. This is a good trade. Some of us got this trade from the bottom here. If you were in my webinar last week, you'd heard me say, watch for them to break this low when they start to come down. They would come break the low, and then they're going to turn, right? Because why? Well, that's where most of you guys find support and resistance that they're breaking, right? You know the support and resistance people like to do it? Put something like this. You're going to find something like that, and there's a strong support or strong resistance, whatever it is, strong support here. They're breaking it, and then they're looking for sell. Well, that's the opposite. When they break, they go the opposite direction, right? They don't break and actually change direction. They break and they go back up. So CAD-yen, oh, so yeah, the CAD-yen. CAD-yen is coming down. You can look for a sell setup. We're in a sideways move, so it's easy to trade. When you're sideways move like that, it's easy to trade. They could go lower. You can look for this to come here, and you can look for it to go lower. You have a 1, 2, 3, a 1, 2, 3, and you can look for a 1, 2, 3 structure back here, right? Probably a 5-wave even to the downside. It's just in a big sideways move. All the yen pairs are in daily sideways move. Let me just show you. Sharp impulse. You don't want it better than this, right? You don't want it better than that, right? It's in the daily. It's coming down in the day, and a smaller time frame, you get some shorter down trades, right? Some shorter down trades. Aussie yen, same structure, daily. Let me put it daily so you can see. You got to move up. You get a 1, 2, 3. You get an upside. You get a 1, 2, 3. You get an upside. So you may get some short downside on the Aussie. Well, remember, Aussie is coming down. So that will mostly be not because of yen, but because of Aussie coming down. So you can look for that Aussie trade, right? You can look for the Aussie yen sell here. There is a 1-hour sell setup right now in play. Go back up some more. It could probably go up some more. And then you can look for that trade down, right? Possible expanding flat, Michael. You know we don't discuss that here. Okay. New Zealand yen, 4 hours. Daily. Yep. Same thing. Look at the daily. 1, 1, 2, 3, up move. You get a 1, 2, 3, come back here, and then you can look for one more impulse up. So it's going sideways. I really don't like to trade this very much. See, it's kind of like very, probably wait for some kind of a flag here, and if they give you the flag, go with it, right? Go with the sell to break this low, and then watch for upside, right? That is so that Swiss yen, don't trade this. This one is a mess. It's doing the same thing, but it's just worse than the rest of them. It's not that smooth. New Zealand CAD, you can look for some short-term upside. Short-term this week, today, tomorrow, trade looks upside, and then you can go down because you're going to get a 1, 2, 3 wave structure. I think they will come to retest this trend line. So you may want to look at this. Take this trade to the upside today, probably today, tomorrow, you get a short trade up, and then you can watch for this trade here, right? That would complete 1, 2, 3 wave structure, and then probably go back up, right? So short-term up, 1 hour upside, 4 hour downside, right? You're getting a nice short setup, trade setup here, I think. Wait for the breakout. And you can get a very short trade, not a very long one, right? Aussie CAD. Aussie CAD is going. Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. This is going to give you some short-term maybe downside here. They were like in a big sideways move, but this wave is not coming down as yet, right? It's not coming down as yet. So watch for it. If it starts to break, they may still go back up, test the top. If they come down, this would be a nice trade. Come back to retest this low before they go back up. So we'll be looking for an impulse, 1, 2, 3, and then upside. The bigger structure is still downside, right? This is they're just doing a bigger correction. The sell is a good one. If you get this sell, you may want to take that. Don't miss the sell, right? Don't miss that sell. Aussie, New Zealand, we're consolidating at the top, so it's a good buy, right? You look for a buy setup. It's coming to the top. Remember that. It's coming to the top. We haven't changed anything, and they're going pretty fast. You see the speed with which they go when they go up. This is going fast. There's a nice trade set up right now on it. Right, there's a very good trade set up on it. You can probably come some more down. I hope they come some more down. They'll probably come down some more like this, and you're gonna get a 1, 2, 3 trade setup, either the break of the top or somewhere from here going up. Right? Either way, if you can trade, you can get the trade. Okay, guys, can you knock off the chat until we finish the webinar? Don't disturb the group. Jim, if you don't understand what I'm doing, you can either listen or you can learn. One out of two. You can't be talking while I'm talking, right? If you listen, you will understand. If you don't understand wave concept, you need to learn the wave concept before you can trade it. You can't trade something you don't know. If you don't understand them, don't take any trades I make. Don't take any trade call I make, because it's going to waste your time and you'll lose your money. It's not as simple as it looks. I can promise you that. It is difficult, which means you need to probably learn how to read wave structure before you do that. This webinar is not meant to teach anybody how to read wave structure. Let me make that very clear. This webinar is for those who can trade. The idea of the webinar is to give you my sense of direction, and I hope that that sense of direction helps you with what you are doing in your analysis already, which means you already have to be a trader. If you're not, you probably need to learn to trade. Don't try to trade what I do if you don't have idea how to trade, right? I'm not giving you trade calls. I'm giving you sense of direction. Right? So when I said there's a consolidation, it could come here and then go. People who know how to trade understand what I'm saying, right? You either take the breakout or you buy the low if you know how to do either of those. Because if you don't, you're probably going to lose your account, right? So let's go. I'm expecting more. I showed you where I expect it to go. We've been showing that from a long while back, remember? It's not like the first time. We're saying, watch this trade, it's going to go. And when it comes here, I think it's going to break out. When it comes there, I think it's going to break out. I don't think they're going to go down for one more. See that? I don't think they're going down for one more wave. We had 1, we had 3. I don't think we're going to get 5, because 5 may be out of this structure. So I think this one is the one that is going up, up, up. Now they can go back for 5, right? If you know anything about structure, retest the low, then go. But I don't think it's going to happen. So which means we are actually looking for this to go up right now and break out of that structure, right? So silver, we're going to silver and gold right now. Silver, before you buy silver, wait for a pullback. If you don't wait for a pullback, the trade is very short term. You can have a short term spike in silver there. I think that's a nice short term trade if you trade silver short term today. If you trade it short term today, you can get a spike up. I think that spike up is very valid. You can see it within the structure, right? They spike up, they pull back. They spike up, they pull back. You could get another spike up there. That's possible. And we will wait for the deep pullback. A sell setup may even be in here, right? A while like that, look at the 4-hour structure. You're going to see it, right? By the way, all of you remember, and this was going down, I said, don't sell silver. Don't sell the silver. If you sell silver, you're going to be in trouble. Well, if you sold it, you're in trouble. It's going up, right? So wait for this to spike up there, then come back down here, then go again, right? So 2 things we are waiting for. Short-term trade, you can get a very short trade here. If you're lucky, they spike out of it, and you may get lucky, right? And then we would look for this to come back to this level, a 1, 2, 3, or a WXY, or some kind of a corrective structure here. And then we look for the next big trade up, right? Very possible. Gold, you have a very similar structure, right? Gold is actually going up. You made an up move. You made a 1, 2, 3 down. You made an up move. You're making a 1. You could make a 2. You could make a 3. I think this 1, 2, 3 is over here. They're probably going to push up some more here and then come back down, right? I don't think this move is the one that is taking off, because I'm looking at the structure more like this. So I think they will break that top. This will probably go break the top, come back here, and then probably go again, or break out of this structure. But I think it's more going to go again. They will probably come break this structure and then go again, right? This could be a leading diagonal to the upside. It's not as yet, we don't know, but it could be a leading diagonal to the upside, which means that watch this structure to go up, not down. This trade is not a big trade, right? It's a small trade, but watch to see if they come back and then go. So let's go to the 1 hour. They did break out. Remember this one I posted for the correction. They did make the correction. They did break out. So if you took the trade, you're probably still in the trade. Watch for it to come to the top here, somewhere here, and that is where you start being very, very careful of your buys if you're in the buy. If you're not in the buy, you probably want to wait before you take any buy now. I would not go into any buy right now. That is not the best buy setup right now. You wait for a deeper correction, then you get in buy, right? US oil, I think we will make everything before that. US oil, this one is going up as we showed the structure. They're probably going to crawl up to the top here. There's a nice trade to the downside. If this structure is anything what we think it is, they should come back to the downside here before they go, right? So we're looking at this structure like this, put it in the daily. We're looking for this structure to come back to the downside here, come back down here, and then go back up there. So you get a 1, 2, 3 wave structure. You've seen that structure before, right? It's not like we haven't seen it. Look here, right? You've seen an impulse down. You see a 1, 2, 3 in here, and then they come down. Well, this one is not a 1, 2, 3. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave structure within here. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave structure, right? It's not an ABC. It is a bigger, the B wave could be a complex 5 wave structure. So if that happens, this is coming back here before it go. Look for the sell setup, right? Look for the sell setup on that one. We'll take questions when we finish the webinar. So look for some setups there. UK oil has a very similar structure. As a matter of fact, this one is much better for the sell setup. There's a short buy there, and then look for this trade down, right? There is a short buy also in the US oil if you trade it on lower time frames and very short term, right? You trade this in very short term, there's a very, very short buy there, right? Put that in a 1 hour, you'll probably see it. There's a very short buy setup. I would not take it. I don't trade oil personally. Some of our traders in the room trade it. Look for this trade and then downside, right? So you probably want to be careful. If you're in the up trade, I think some of our traders in it, just watch it as it breaks the top, right? Okay, natural gas. I would do natural gas and just, natural gas is breaking out of the daily structure. This is the daily up structure, right? So they're breaking. You don't want to sell this unless it makes a correction up first, right? Breaking the structure does not mean the end of the structure. You have to wait for it to make a correction to prove the next move to the downside, right? Silver, wait for it. There's a very short-term trade, 1 hour up. 1 hour up trade, you probably want to take that if you like to trade silver short-term, or wait for it to make a deeper pullback, then go. It will make a deeper pullback and then it will go, right? So let's go. I'll look at S&P 500 still going up. I still think they're going to go up. You guys who are trading S&P 500, watch for the big fall in this area here. That will complete a 5-wave structure, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A deeper correction comes from in this area here. Somewhere in here, you start to get a deeper correction. All right, this was posted a long time ago. So be careful. This is the area you start to look for really deep pullback. They could spike a little above, but that spike will be a good sense that they're going to drop, right? Nifty going up still. I still think it's more upside, and it's going good. So just keep your eyes on it if you're in the trade. Just watch it. It has a ways to go to the top. I don't think they're going to make any deeper correction, right? Copper, if they break this structure, we sell. Right? If copper breaks this structure here, we look for sell setups. They're climbing this structure. I'm not interested in that buy. This structure will break to the downside, so I'm not interested in the bias yet. Right? We're seeing some weakness. Okay, I think that's about it. We've covered all the charts we want to cover, the major ones. DE30 EUR. I think we actually, I don't have that one. Oh, I have it here. Let me see. Still upside. This is still upside on the daily and all time frame. They will come to break this stop. Right? We've said that last week and we said it before. If you're looking for buys, you're looking for buy setups on this. They're still going up. They'll break that top, that's for sure. So on shorter time frame, 1 hour, you could get some pullback here actually in the 1 hour. There is a nice 1 hour flag here for a buy. Watch it to go a little more, but you could get a pullback here. You see on this 1, 2, 3. So you probably want to be careful. Pull the line, and if they break, you're in a buy, right? So you just move your stop, and if they just fall through this, wait for a flag and sell back to this level. These are very short-term trades. The bigger trade is still to the upside, right? The bigger trade is still to the upside. So, no, the New Zealand trade, I already said, and I got taken out for break-even. I moved mine to break-even, but we are buying it again. We are buying. Some of my traders are better than me. They kept their stops, right? I can tell you, I moved my stop to break even in the Euro New Zealand, and some of our traders kept their stops, right? So as you can see, I got taken out right here, right at this level. I moved mine to break even, got taken out, but some of my traders kept their stop. I think their stop was here. They kept the stop, and they're still in the trade, and they're still waiting to go up. So we will be buying it back again, no problem. Yep, that happened to a lot of us in the room, by the way. We moved our stop, got taken out, but hey, that's trading. Why worry? We just, it's a nice thing to look at and smile and move on. Some of our traders kept their ones. Yeah, I'm never worried about a trade. 1, 2 trade doesn't bother me. Sometimes I don't even realize I'm in the trade if I had an entry order until I checked it, right? Yes, everything will be uploaded to YouTube. So you guys have questions? We could take some questions. Somebody said, Sherry said some questions in here. Let me look at it. Post all your questions in the chat. No need to post them here. Let me see. What is the question? What will be the maximum limit for Aussie USD this week? And what is your idea about Pong Yen this week? I gave my idea on Pong Yen already, and maximum limit for Aussie USD. I'm expecting Aussie to come all the way to the bottom. I don't think it will do that this week, but we will see. I hope that answers your questions, right? The second one is it advisable to make a limit entry order for where you indicate for us to look out to take trade instead of sitting in front of them? You could, Martin, that's a good idea. You could do that. We do that in our room, but that is if you understand structure and you have a strategy how to put those limit orders in. If you do, great, not a bad idea. But you have to know to do that. I would not advise to just follow what I do and do it, because we do relook at structures before we put those orders in, right? Second, I have some questions for you regarding fitting trades, these pattern you teach into your schedule and about the course you offer. Do you have a number I can reach? Skype me. Joseph, Skype me. You don't have to reach me in any number. Don't call me immediately. Just add me to Skype. I'll send you the info, and then we can discuss it if you have anything, right? It's MANGAL 457, right? The numbers doesn't mean anything. They're just random. Mangle is my name. You know that, right? Daniel Mangle. So just Skype me if you're interested in the course. Let's not waste time on that here. I think everybody had enough time to write that Skype down. I'll take it off because I have to take it off to go on. Yes, answer live done. Let's see. Can you please add dollar ruble? Oh, dollar ruble. Yes, somebody been asking me for that for a while. Let me just look at it for you. Ruble dollar. I think they're gonna go down some more. I think there will be some more. Let me put it in this time frame so you can see. Dollar ruble, keep that trend line, and if it starts to break out, watch for change. But I think they will come back to about this level before they go. Somewhere in here, somewhere in that 50th zone, that 50th, 40th zone, you want to start to look to buy USD. Convert your rubles. Rubles is getting strong, and it will probably get strong to about that level. But this structure is looking weak right now coming down. So if you follow it in a 4 hour, These are just smaller pull back and go, pull back and go. I don't see a change in the structures yet. You can follow this trend coming down and wait to see for a breakout, a 4-hour consolidation, and then that will be the change of direction. Right? I just think within that area you need to watch it. Okay, I hope that helped you. Let's go. Done. Do you think extended 5-wave is possible next year? I'm not looking at it as a 5-wave structure, as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 motive wave. I just put 5 to make sure that everybody is okay and trading view with that. It's not a classical motive wave structure. Actually, it's an ABC structure in the monthly. But we're not going into that discussion here. I missed on the early, sir. Can you again? You will watch the live recording. Anything you missed, no problem. You watch you watch a recording. I said live. You watch a recording. Sorry, miss EURUSD. You will watch the recording as well. We can't redo the webinar because you guys came in it. Can you please make a separate video for your outlook and indices, commodities? We can do that sometime, definitely. Never really done that, but we can do it. How to confirm the breakout of the structure? Good question. Go practice how to do it. Maybe quick look at. No, we really don't have the time for that. Any more charts, we'll have to. Okay, please give an idea on the New Zealand yen 4-hour chart. New Zealand yen is in a consolidation. Showed that already. Can you tell us your opinion about robots? Stop. Don't buy any. If robots were working, the banks and the bigger hedge fund would have got enough to make money on them. You can't do it. So forget about it. It's a waste of it. Those who are selling you robots just want your money, basically, right? Here's the thing. Think of it this way. If robots were working, there are people who actually write these programs, right? Robots are actually program trading for you, right? Some kind of a genius program. Who are the people with the most money to hire the smartest people to work for them? You or the hedge funds or the banks? Just ask yourself that question. It's so simple. You don't have to come ask it here. Ask yourself that simple question. And if they're not using it, if they're not doing that, why would it work for you? Why is the guy selling you his robot for $250, right? You download that program and suddenly you will make millions. It's not going to work. If you want a robot to trade for you and you're going to go to the Hawaii and enjoy your life, you're probably going to be in for a surprise. Trading is difficult. It's complex, right? It's difficult and it's complex. If you think there is anything automatic to recognize the pattern for you, you have no idea what patterns are, right? It's not possible to do. If it was possible to do, it would have been done already without us. That's the whole point. You know how many people call me and tell me, can we take your strategy and put it down and create a EA or a robot or something for it? I keep telling them, no, it's not possible. I mean, a lot of people, very smart guys who do this for a living actually called me and said, well, can we sit with you and do it? I said, no, it's not going to work because it doesn't work like that. It's not that easy. It's not a very straightforward thing. It doesn't move in straight lines. It's not mathematical as such. You can't use mathematical formula to calculate it. It's not going to work. You're thinking about risk. You're thinking about, things that may happen in the world that could change, change the pattern. We don't know what pattern it's going to make every single time. The patterns do change, and you will never know. Have you tried never moving stops to break even? Oh yeah, we don't move stops to break even that easy, anonymous viewer. We have tried that. We don't move it that easy. This one we just I was going to sleep and it moves. It made such a big move correction, so I wasn't expecting them to go that much. It's not like we get taken out in all of our trade, right? We have pattern, moving average. Wave patterns and moving average. Fire, thank you. Oh, help me see the picture. Oh, I don't use moving average. If it helps you, great, but I don't use it. Because they're lagging. And can you tell us your opinion about, I think I answered that question again. It came back. Let's see. Okay, guys, can you don't put questions in here? Put the questions in the chat. So I wouldn't be taking any more questions there. Please explain ABC and 3-wave structure. That's a 6-week course. I explained it in my 6-week course. What is your average percentage when mine can't get higher than 50%? Well, I've doubled an account in 8 months, and I'm struggling for the second double in this year. I haven't doubled it again, right? Actually, I've got some very bad, not hit, but some very bad hedges. My mistake, I shouldn't have tried hedge. I was trying to hedge, right? I was trying to practice some hedges, and I had some real crazy lot size. So I have to deal with that for a while. So I can't say that you can do 50% easily. You can do more than that. If you're struggling with, if you reach like 50% and you find you're struggling, cut down on your lot size. That was my problem. I tried to go too big lot size too fast, and that is a problem. No, don't hedge. Nobody, don't hedge. Don't ever hedge your trade. I have a hedge in the Euro Oz that I released. Wasn't a big hedge. So I released the one side and it was going good, and then I woke up the next day and I didn't have a stop on it and I didn't have a rehedge. It dropped lower. I hedged it again. Wasn't the killing, wasn't really like it's gonna kill me, right? And I rehedge again, and then it go up again. And every time you try to do, you end up getting a little bit of profit, but then you have to rehedge, and you just watch it grow. It's crazy. It's a crazy thing. Even though you know, sometimes you're not there when the hedge should be released. 2 times I could have released the hedge pretty good, but I wasn't there when the hedge was supposed to be released, and you end up taking the loss, and then you still, you know, it's crazy. Don't hedge. Maybe it worked for somebody. I need more experience in it. I didn't have enough experience in it when I tried to use it. So if there's a way to really practice, but here's the thing: the new strategy we're using now, it's working great. You don't need to hedge anything. So we're going to go on with the new strategy now, and then you don't need to do all those crazy stuff, right? The new strategy work amazing. You guys would be surprised, right? It really is amazing. I mean, my traders will tell you how amazing it is. You don't have to think about hedging anything. So forget about hedging, right? You've been trading supply and demand for a long time. Supply and demand is that you really don't know exactly where the supply and demand is, because the supply and demand is created actually by the very same people, by the same bank, right? Let me show you, for example, I'll explain supply and demand in the euro yen. Let me show you the euro yen. I think this one will help a lot of people who do supply and demand understand where they're making mistakes, in that you don't know where the supply and demand is, right? So let me just show you. People think, and I know the theory of supply and demand. Remember, I've studied these things. So the idea of supply and demand, and especially this guy is trading it, I forgot what their course is. They're saying that when the market moves away, right, they look for zones across here, these zones, right? These supply, these zones where it was going up, right? And then what happened? Supply, demand came in, so it actually fell. Supply came in, so it fell, right? So when you go back into that zone, it is going to come back again if it's a fresh zone. That's crazy stuff. Let me show you why that is crazy stuff. There was supposed to be a fresh zone here. There was supposed to be a fresh zone here, and there was supposed to be a fresh zone there. You see what happened? It went straight through all of them. You know why? Because this was a corrective move, right? Every time you get a corrective move, those zones crazily don't work. There was supposed to be a fresh zone here. There was supposed to be a fresh zone in this area here. See that area there? There was supposed to be a fresh zone here. There was supposed to be a fresh zone here. It still go up. You know why it moved through all those zones? Because this is an impulse to the upside. It has nothing to do. This has nothing to do with what they were doing there. When people were selling there, when they were selling there, when sell orders were hit there, the same sell orders is not going to be across here. Just think of it this way. Here's the explanation: that there are orders still sitting there. Think of yourself. You're a big market mover, right? You were probably Gazprom in Russia, right? So you call your bank and you said, at this level, I would like to sell this euro yen business. We have some euro there. Go sell it and buy yen, right? So they sold your euro here, and that's it. You go down, euro fall, you buy yen, right? You're not going to tell them to do the same thing here. When the market come back to that point, you are not giving them exactly the same order, unless you're a crazy person, right? Working for Gazprom. You will not do that. You don't have a demand for it. There is no need for it anymore, right? So you don't call them exactly when you say, oh, market is coming back to this area. Can you please sell for us again? No, that's not what you do. That's not what these big market movers do. The people who have the money to do. The banks even don't do that. They don't go and look back at the chart and say, in that area it's going to move. They will be behaving differently, and their behavior is registered in the chart. You can see where the demand is. The demands and the supply in here are pretty much equal. What they're doing is transactions. When these transactions are going to break, these transactions, that supply and demand zone will break either up or either down. That's a fact. That is just a fact. It will break one way, either up or either down, right? Which means there will be a huge supply or a huge demand coming. By that they mean orders, not people, not one person or enough people. It could be one single bank that could move that entire thing. It could be the Central Bank of Japan. It could be something in Europe, but it will move because there's a difference in the supply and the demand of the orders that are coming in, right? That's true. Now, how do you know which direction it's going to go? And that is where pattern comes in. The pattern, if you study that pattern in there, 90% of the time, that pattern will tell you the direction, the order, the big order that will move the market will be coming to, right? 90% of the time, I'm telling you in this, when I see this pattern, 90% of the time, the order to move the market will come in this way. There will be a demand and not a supply to drop it. So what we do is, instead of going and study supply and demands and this crazy stuff that they did that the last time 2 years back, they had a demand there and they're still waiting to sell there or something like that, or they're waiting to buy there. That's crazy people stuff. You don't do that. No, Gazprom doesn't remember what they did 2 years ago and said, oh, 2 years ago we sold at that level, the price is right there, let's sell again. They don't do that. That's crazy, right? And if you don't understand it, then you don't understand how market work. That's not how market works, right? But if you understand when there is a zone of supply and demand that is balanced, which is the consolidation, which is accumulation, call it whatever you want, consolidation, accumulation, corrective structure, call it whatever you want. What is happening in that area right there at that point is that the market has reached a zone where the supply and the demand is equal. So the market is going nowhere. It's going into what we call consolidation. It is going to what we call accumulation. It is going into what we call corrective structure. It's actually going into something that you can learn to read. If you learn to read how that structure behaves in there, then you have a very high probability of telling the direction is going to break out. You have a high probability of telling whether there's the huge demand is going to come in, somebody wants to buy a lot or somebody wants to sell a lot. And you don't care to know who, you don't care to know why, right? It could be a news event that will move it. We don't care to know that. We don't know which news event they're going to use to move it. We don't care to know who is going to move it, right? Central Bank of Europe, Central Bank of Japan, anybody else in the world, maybe one of you guys, I don't know. We don't care to know that. We care to know that the pattern is telling us it's going to go in this direction. That means we want to be with it in that direction. And because of the trades we put in are so small compared to what the market is, nobody cares a hell about your trade. So nobody is looking at your trade particularly to take you out or to do anything with you, except for your broker. The only person who literally is keeping a good eye on your trade is your broker. And the only reason he wants to do that, because he has a lot of small traders, and if he sees that their stop losses, where they would like to exit the trade, is close to where the price is, he has the ability to move the spread and take you out. Not the price of the market, the spread, but moving the spread also moves the price. And that could take you out. So that's the only person who's interested in, not your bank. Your bank doesn't see your trade. He doesn't care. The trades are consolidated in your broker account, not in the bank account. The broker will take it. The broker will do two things. He will either mirror those trades as a volume trade in the bank, hedging his trade in the bank, mirroring your trade, or he will just keep your trade and hope he takes you out. Very simple, right? So understanding where supply and demand actually is coming in the market from what they did in the past is crazy stuff, right? It's really crazy stuff. Because what you did, just imagine, think about yourself. What you did yesterday, you're not going to repeat exactly that today, right? If yesterday, I don't know, you went to a restaurant and you spend $100, you're not exactly going back to the restaurant exactly the same time today to spend the next $100, right? And if you don't do that, why would big companies do the same thing? It doesn't work that way. All brokers. I don't want brokers to get at me and say, right? But believe me, I've seen brokers that wrote E and C in them, and they still screw with you. Literally, I've seen that. So people ask me every day, can you recommend a broker? I said, no. That's the last thing I would ever do if I have to do, recommend a broker. I will never recommend a broker. I could do webinars for broker. I ask any broker, if you want to educate your people and want me to do a webinar for you, great, I'll do it, right? But I will not recommend you. I'll not say that you or the broker, any trader should join. I will not take that responsibility. right? FXCM got fined, I think, for that, right? So it's tough to tell. You will never know which broker is honest. The broker and honesty, they don't go together. They really just don't go together, right? It's like it's not synonyms, it's antonyms. They don't go together. It's hard to find an honest broker. But here's the thing: you don't have to work on the you don't have to base your trading on the fact that your broker is honest. He can't move the market. He doesn't move the market. He just moves the spread. So if you have a way of going around that, if you have good trade setup, you have good stops, you know what you're doing better than your broker is likely going to come off your back. He wouldn't be worrying with your trades, right? Because he knows that your trades are making much better. You're winning more than you're losing, and that's it. He's not going to worry with you because he doesn't want to take the losses for you, right? Well, at some point you may not put the stop on, but at some point you will have to exit the trade. And if you're there all the time, then you can hold the stop and know where you're going to put it. But you have to have the psychology to click that stop. Believe me, I have traders who call me. Can you please help me? I'm in trouble. I said, what? Okay, I have this trade and it's going against me. Where is your stop? I don't have a stop. Go take off the trade right now or put a stop. And they will not do it. They will not do it. You know why they wouldn't do it? They don't have the ability to do it. They don't have that psychological power to go click that trade, stop, and go. Not all traders can do that. You have to be really, really seasoned traders. You have to have a lot of experience to say, this is where I will exit my stop, and you literally exit it at that point. Not that you can't do it, but you have to be, that experienced to do it. New traders can do it. I promise you that. If you're new, you start panicking. You don't know where to exit. The panic is what is going to make you exit, not logic, right? So, okay, guys, I think we've had enough today. You guys have learned something today about supply and demand and how it actually works and how patterns help you to identify where that is going to actually work better, right? So Dow theory not bad, except that it could be good in a three-wave structure, not a five. We don't know that. We'll have to go study that more. I didn't study that much of Dow theory. I studied more of what Elliott did. You can work full time and trade. You just have to go trade the 240 in the daily charts. I will try to up the video later today. You'll get it by tomorrow, wherever you are. So, okay, guys, thank you for coming. Have a wonderful week. Trade with care and make money. See all of you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.